Hi and welcome to Sims Racing. From amazing locations to a splendid array of magnificent cars, Dirt Rally 2.0 has delivered us a fantastic rally experience and still does to this very day. Thanks to this game I met plenty of great people I can now consider my friends, it elevated my competitive sim racing career to a whole new level, and because of the lack of great liveries available for the cars, it even pushed me into becoming a content creator and designer. However, there is one decision the developers made which I, from a designer's perspective, consider to be their biggest mistake. So strap yourselves in and let's get into it. Right, so which mistake am I talking about? Well, in the intro I mentioned that there has always been a lack of good looking liveries for the cars in Dirt Rally 2.0. I mean, most of the cars have a handful of liveries you can choose from, but only one of them looks properly amazing. Sometimes two if we are lucky. The community has always been able to create custom liveries for the cars of the base game, with over 1000 of them available on the race department website alone. Now, because I wasn't happy with the amount of great liveries, I decided to start dabbling into the world of custom livery designs in April of 2019. Eventually I managed to figure out how to do it somewhat properly, thanks to all the information provided by Rally Gamer on his website. Shout out to him, as he's a true legend of the Dirt Rally modding community. Same goes for the Flying Tuga, the man behind each of the templates many of its designers used to create our splendid liveries. The problem though is that replacing the horrible liveries with custom ones, which are amazing, is rarely an option. Usually you can only swap the custom liveries for the good looking ones in the game. In other words, we are stuck with the bad liveries, some of which have probably never been used by the vast majority of the player base. That is indeed quite the letdown and definitely needs to be addressed in future titles. However, in my opinion, this is not their biggest mistake. Now, when the first season of DLC content was announced, I was ecstatic. It included several beloved rally locations which underwent a major update, and more importantly, it also brought us 6 iconic rally cars. The Citroën C4 WRC, the Skoda Fabia WRC, the Ford Focus RS WRC from 2007, the Subaru Impreza S14 WRC, the BMW M1 Pro car and the Opel Manta 400. After several months of improving my design skills, I finally felt confident enough to work on one of those iconic DLC cars, and it didn't take long for me to decide which one I was going to start with. I do enjoy watching the replay after a run, especially when there's a gorgeous car to marvel at. That being said, there has always been one car I barely ever use because it doesn't have any decent liveries available for it, and I know I'm definitely not the only one finding himself in this predicament. Yes, I'm talking about the 07 Ford Focus RS WRC. There's no official livery scheme available for it, and what we do have doesn't really make me go. So I went through my usual preparation routine of organizing a folder and looking for all the necessary reference images, logos and files. To my surprise, I couldn't find any template for the car, which was odd. Then I looked for custom liveries others had already created because I knew surely there must be some out there. Yet I couldn't find anything. Nothing. I thought to myself, what's going on here? The only option left was to try reaching out to Rally Gamer in order to find out the truth behind all of this, and what I read in his reply felt like a kick in the testes. Apparently the developers completely encrypted the DLC cars in order to protect their content from being spread freely, resulting in the loss of revenue. In other words, there was no way to get access to the files custom livery designers would need. And although I do understand why they did it, I just don't understand why they had to encrypt all of it. You can't really do anything with the handful of files we as designers use, so why they couldn't leave those unencrypted was somewhat strange. Fortunately for us, after about a year the community found a way to break through the encryption. Unfortunately for us, they were only able to break through it to a certain extent. To this day, designers can access and extract the files but can't put their creations back into the game like they would normally do. The only thing they can do is use one of the cars from the base game, like the Mitsubishi Space Star R5, as a placeholder. What this means is that they can make the Space Star look and sound like the Ford Focus RS WRC, but it won't necessarily have the correct physics. Replacing cars this way also has consequences when using them in online competitions, as it's not allowed and it can result in a ban. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the biggest mistake the developers made from a mod designer's perspective. What we are left with is marvelous DLC car designs, but no way of properly or correctly installing them. So here's what could have been if it weren't for the dastardly encryption.